As Cindy's dad was leaving for the war, Cindy was pleading for him to stay. She did not like her stepmother, nor did she care for her. "Daddy, please stay," Cindy cried. "Now, Cindy," Dad said, "your stepmother will take very great care of you. I will be back in 5 years. Goodbye, my Cindy." Cindy sobbed and waved as her dad walked through the door. "Cindy," stepmother yelled, "come do your chores this instant." "Yeah, Dumbo," Melody, her stepsister, said, very bratty. Cindy walked away to clean her room and wax the floor as she was told. A few months later, while Cindy was washing the dishes, her stepmother came downstairs to tell her something urgent. "All right, Cindy," stepmother sighed. "Stop your crying and you can go to the ball." Cindy sprung up with cheer and said, "Thank you." Melody strutted downstairs with an ugly dress on. "What is this nonsense?" She saw the look on her mother's face. "Fine, you big Dumbo head, as if you can even find a dress." Melody turned dramatically and stomped away. A few hours later, Cindy's hair was dyed brown, and she found a faded pink dress just her size. She goes to the ball and meets a very kind old woman. When they went to get some food, the woman chanted something. Cindy collapsed to the ground in a deep slumber. The woman cackled, and her fancy dress became rags, showing her true identity, a terrifying witch. 5 years later, another ball was being held. Cindy was still in a deep slumber when the witch in her disguise arrived. No one could see Cindy because the spell made her invisible to the human eye. The prince and the disguised witch were having a blast, dancing. When the prince tripped and fell. "Whoa!" he yelled. He fell straight to the floor, and Cindy awoke. "Hey, watch it!" She held her head. The witch looked at her weirdly. "Whoa, what year is it?" Cindy saw her clothes, more vibrant and beautiful. 2014, the witch replied carefully. "The year is 2014. Cindy gasped, realizing it has been 5 years. "I have to go," Cindy turned. She sprinted home, hoping her dad would be home. When she got home, her stepmother was on the floor. Melody was nowhere to be found. Her stepmother's breathing was raspy, then she coughed weakly. "Cindy, I am so sorry." Suddenly, her stepmother's breathing stopped. A few moments later, her dad walks in. "Cindy," he stepped in, looking at his wife on the floor. Cindy looked up, tears rolling down her cheeks. Her father understood and hugged her tightly. The story doesn't end. Back in the witch's cavern, she knew the spell was broken. "No," she growled. She knew now that the spell was broken, that she would die. She curled up on the floor and waited for death to find her. Finally, she passed on and she died. The end.